Avoid her. Find a job. Terry Maloney is truly admirable. As Katie, I wouldn't allow Shorts anywhere near SA. How many subtle digs has he made, whether directly or indirectly through S&S social media comments? I'm not implying he authored the posts, but he's hardly deserving. After all that time together and their shared history, plus being colleagues, it's natural to occasionally remain connected. Fans waiting for hours likely enjoyed spotting a cast member. However, he and Kyle Chan probably could have stayed home. To be fair, Katie still seems open to some form of friendship. Given their past and dynamics, it's understandable for him to attend, regardless of his past behavior as a partner. It's Katie's decision to make. If Sandoval showed up, I hope all I see is security escorting him straight out. Honestly, it's even more surprising that Sheena and Lala haven't visited or reached out. Even her ex-husband showed up to show support, despite their previous disagreements during the reunion. What's their excuse now? While I can't stand how Shorts treats people and his general demeanor, he does appear healthier in this photo than he has in a while. Maybe I'm being overly hopeful, but perhaps he's making efforts to better himself. I do think his support probably irks Sandoval, Lala, and Sheena, which I find amusing. I don't even want to think about Joe's reaction. I know Terry sees Tom as family, and it's disappointing that Tom can't show some respect. Schwartz definitely doesn't deserve Katie or Terry in his life. Hopefully, this can deter some of the Schwartz fans from criticizing SA. Haters will still hate, but having his public support is better than nothing. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Spill Chronicles. I am Ramona here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. Moreover, I visited something about her today, and here are my thoughts. I arrived at 11 o'clock and got in around 12:30, which wasn't too bad. I actually expected to wait much longer. Terry and Katie were there today, and I even got a photo with Katie. She was super nice and absolutely gorgeous. I ordered the Viola, and my sister got the Cameron. We shared them. The Viola was incredibly good, honestly 11/10, highly recommend. I also loved the Cameron, a solid 10/10. The sandwiches are huge. I couldn't even finish mine, so I had to take the rest to go. Katie even packed up my bag for me, which was incredibly nice of her. The staff was really friendly, and the decor inside is absolutely beautiful. Overall, I'm definitely going to check it out again. So cute, great food, great staff, no flaws. And can I just say how friendly everyone is? The door person was so conversational and complimentary. Terry and Katie were incredibly nice and were really engaging with the customers. I didn't expect them to be so hands-on. The sandwiches are good, but not all of them are huge. Some are definitely bigger than others, but I definitely enjoyed the taste. It's great to see others posting about what a nice experience it is. And if I'm not mistaken, her parents owned a restaurant in Utah, and she grew up working there. She wanted to help with Tom because she knew the restaurant business. That's why she was so hurt when Schwartz allowed Sandoval to shut her out. Regarding the chips debate, Subway, Jimmy John's, and Jersey Mike's do not include chips. They are a separate side. This isn't your house. If you need a sandwich to come with chips, eat at home. I don't understand the people who comment about this on every single post. Panera doesn't even give chips. Actually, I'm gluten-free, but I know this about 90% of big sandwich places. The chips are separate. Enough about the chips. The sandwich shop, Dilly, Bodega, or bagel place in my neighborhood don't give chips either. And my question for people complaining about the price of the sandwiches is, where do you live? I think that makes a difference. In New Jersey at Panera, the sandwiches are about $12.50, and you get less on them. Sure, you get an apple or a small bag of chips with them, but it's about the same. However, oh man, can't wait for Wednesday. Getting all hyped up for this disrespectfully podcast on Wednesday, just one day after the reunion airs. I wonder if they'll spill everything. Honestly, I really hope they spill everything, but Ariana is so diplomatic sometimes that I worry she might not drag those weirdos the way I want her to. Either way, I'm ready. I'd also think Ariana knows they're the kind of people who would thrive on even a crumb of acknowledgement, and I think she's not about that, though the petty side of me wishes she was. I'm curious how much of the show they'll address, and how much will be more easygoing conversation. Part of me wants them to annihilate the two bimbos, and the other part knows that not talking about them will drive them crazy. Also, I'd like Ariana to have watched the season by now and address everything directly because she's with friends who are straight up and honest. And I'd like that to include calling out Blah Blah and Sheena for who they truly are and their documented actions. But I also love the casual conversation, so a little bit of both, please. I only started listening to their podcast recently. It's so good, and I like that it's not really about VPR. They're funny in their own right without needing VPR content. I really think she'll announce her departure in the final part of the reunion, and that's why she's on the podcast. She hasn't done any lengthy interviews recently, while everyone else was basically on a press tour. On the other hand, thoughts on Jo. She embodies what's known as main character syndrome. Jo seems to live in a romantic comedy where she and a boy share an unparalleled connection, unlike anything experienced before, and everything before or after will never be the same. That's likely why she doesn't seem to care much about Katie or her past relationship with Schwartz. In her narrative, the story didn't truly start until after their divorce. Their marriage merely existed as a plot device for Jo and Schwartz to find each other, while also introducing Katie as a bitter ex-wife foil. The way she speaks about her relationship with Schwartz implies she tries to elevate it above Katie's, emphasizing moments like being the only other person to meet his family or attending trips more frequently than Katie. However, it's speculative whether Jo forced herself into these situations. This mindset also explains why she didn't concern herself with Sandoval and Rachel's relationship. They were just supporting cast in her movie. It's understandable why Ariana might not be upset with Jo about her friendship with Rachel, as it wasn't a significant subplot at the time. The friendship between Rachel and Jo likely endures because they're content with being supporting characters to each other's main roles. In Jo's mind, their relationship was likely the most special, destined to be the one that got away, akin to a storyline in a movie like La La Land. However, reality differs, as Schwartz seems to want nothing to do with her. Yet, Jo desperately seeks validation for her perceived main character status. She embodies the concept of an unreliable narrator, akin to a book where the first half is fiction, and the second half reveals she's been in an institution all along, with the other patients as characters. Jo's emotional outbursts, particularly in response to Katie's disapproval, seem like cries for attention. It's commendable that Katie refuses to compromise. Jo's presence needs reconsideration. Even before Schwartz and Katie's divorce, Katie wasn't fond of Jo. If a fringe friend started dating or getting involved with my ex-husband after our divorce, I'd feel uncomfortable, suspecting a pre-existing crush during our relationship. Jo may have bought into the Schwartz and Sandoval mentality that being mean to Katie is good for the show. She likely believed that endearing herself to the show would also endear her to Tom and eventually win him over. It's frustrating that even with all the evidence and a clear perspective, Jo maintains a biased view. Katie bad, Tom good, Jo good, everyone else good. This one-sided perspective is maddening. Delving into her Instagram, her posts exude forced quirkiness, which feels uncomfortable. Considering her behavior, it's plausible that Jo struggles with mental health issues. She may have been love-bombed and gaslit by Schwartz, mirroring his desired persona to fit his standards. If she started with attachment or mental health issues, Schwartz's behavior likely exacerbated her struggles. While Jo may seem unhinged, Schwartz's actions paint him as the true antagonist. Just as he attempted a smear campaign against Katie, his intentions with Joe may not be as innocent as they appear. Additionally, is a bedroom book an appropriate gift for a second anniversary to Shay, or yet another example of Sheena making everything about herself? The fact that she did it for both their wedding and anniversary was what made me laugh. Once is sexy and interesting, twice seems to lean towards conceited. But perhaps Shay was just really into it. Sheena's personality shines through, with gigantic pictures of herself adorning her home, reminiscent of the self-absorbed characters in shows like Desperate Housewives. It's all about her, all the time. I always assumed it was the exact same book, to be honest. After all the drama of having to get Kristen to bring the book to the wedding venue, I figured she forgot to even give it to him. In my area, there was a woman who made a fortune over a few years photographing and selling those books to young moms in town. Interestingly, the husbands typically looked at it once, said, "Wow, sexy," and then it was never mentioned again. At least they all stopped at one viewing. Were any of the favorites from these shoots also used to decorate their apartment, or was that reserved for wedding photos? Either way, it's a lot of Sheena looking at Sheena and assuming others want to do the same. Isn't this a very common thing that people do? Not really. Some people do it, but I have many married friends, and I don't know a single person who has done this. I've seen it on Bravo a lot, but I wouldn't say it's a common practice. Moreover, I believe some of the side characters should become full-time cast members. The show's premise, centered around friends working at the same restaurant, no longer holds true, since most of them aren't waiters at SUR anymore. As the cast diminishes due to departures or firings, it becomes challenging to introduce new members who didn't work at SUR. Consequently, the only way to join the show seems to be by dating a current cast member. With a shrinking cast, the show struggles to generate drama among fewer characters. While this dynamic aligns with the essence of the Valley, I don't want to see all the cast members there. Additionally, I don't want the show to be canceled because I'm still invested in the current cast. It would be refreshing to see more of Kyle Chan and explore his dynamic with other cast members like Ariana or Katie. Introducing some of Ariana's friends, such as Logan or Brad, could add depth to the show, especially in conflicts with Lala. While Lala dismisses them as Ariana's minions, we don't know them well enough to judge. Seeing more of them could offer a clearer perspective. I'd also welcome Joe's return to witness how her presence unsettles Schwartz and his new partners. Though, I must admit, I have no interest in seeing Lala's brother or assistant on my TV. Let's abandon the pretense that the show revolves around waiters. It hasn't for a while. At its core, it's about real friend groups, and that's what we need to see more of. The Valley works because they are genuine friends, even if their friendships have evolved. Despite not being as close, they still orbit each other through mutual connections. Let's explore those mutuals. The cast felt notably small this year, and while they're attempting to integrate Brock, I doubt he'll become a central figure. However, the change needs to start at the top, with the removal of Alex Baskin. Baskin's management style creates a hostile environment, as evidenced by Dana's panic attacks and Charlie's departure. His overbearing come-to-Jesus meeting, threatening the cast with the future of the show, was unnecessary and detrimental. His inability to retain female cast members, especially in light of recent allegations, further underscores his unsuitability for the role. It's time for Bravo and NBCU to reassess their leadership. I advocate for a female showrunner for VPR. Not for a saccharine portrayal, but to pivot away from Tom and Tom as the focal point. This season should have centered on Ariana and Katie, yet they received minimal screen time. A female showrunner could delve deeper into James's burgeoning career and Lala's entrepreneurial endeavors. Sheena's battle with PPOCD deserves more than just a mention. We should see her journey to overcome it. While I'd love to see Dana return, her mental health struggles may hinder that. Perhaps a spin-off featuring Katie and Ariana's sandwich shop adventures could entice her back. As for cast additions, let's veto Sheena's sister, Lala's brother, and Ariana's brother. The show's pay structure needs an overhaul. The initial meager pay rates deter talented individuals like Dana and Charlie, who can't afford to commit to the show financially. Conversely, the main cast's upcoming raises likely contributed to the smaller cast this year. On the other hand, okay, I know astrology isn't everyone's cup of tea, but as an astrologer, I couldn't help but notice Victoria's new Instagram story post. She shared her Big Six, and it's strikingly similar to Ariana's. Both ladies have a Cancer sun with a Virgo moon. Victoria's Venus is in Cancer and her Mars is in Taurus, while Ariana's Venus is in Taurus and her Mars is in Cancer. It seems like Tom has a penchant for the ride or die type that he found in Ariana. What's also intriguing is that Ariana's descendant is in Leo, indicating an attraction to the star of the room while not seeking the attention herself. Conversely, Victoria's descendant is in Pisces, suggesting an attraction to the emotional and dreamy side. Tom seems to embody both of these qualities, thinking he's the star, craving attention, having grandiose ideas, crying when guilty, and employing emotional manipulation. I found it all quite fascinating, lol. This seems to suggest he'll never fully move on from Ariana. On an unrelated note, Sandoval appears to be seeking an ally type. Someone who serves as arm candy, can travel, and hypes him up without possessing enough opinion or power to challenge his status. Do you agree or disagree? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below.